Hi, I'm Danielle Najarian. We are at the New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival, and I'm sitting here with Miss Sharon Smyth. Sharon, tell me a little bit about your journey as an actress in the entertainment industry.
Well, I actually started when I was about 5 years old in modeling and commercials and some voiceovers. And I had been on a soap opera at the time, back in the 60s, called Search for Tomorrow. And the character's name was Susie Carter. I was on that for about 6 months, maybe 9 months. And I was going on auditions regularly. And I got an audition to be on Dark Shadows. I knew very little about it. In fact, I didn't know anything about it. It was just another audition where you go in and there's a room full of a lot of little girls. And I was used to that. So I just went through the motions, and you go into a big room with a lot of people in it, and they ask you to do a few things, and then you go back out of the waiting room again. And to be honest with you, when they told me that the role was as for a ghost, I really didn't think that I was very ghostly looking compared to a lot of the other little girls that were there. But I did get a call back, and when I went back, it was only two of us. It was down to just two of us, and she was blonde, and I had dark hair, and she was pale, and I had freckles, and I was sure that she would get the job. But I got the job. And I think sometimes the lead character, his name was, in real life, is Jonathan Frid, but his character was Barnabas, and he was a vampire, and he was dark. And I think that the family that he came from, that's featured in Dark Shadows, the Collins family, I probably looked more like them than this other little girl did. I think that had a lot to do with it.
Do you mind if I actually hold up one of your pictures here? Is that okay? Okay, I want to show you guys real quick. I mean, how amazingly adorable she is. I mean, in every way. I like you said, it was a very big contrast to your typical ghost looking girl. She's got rosy cheeks, she's got freckles, she's innocent, she's delicate, and
you know what's funny in this picture is how it starts out as a ghost. Little Sarah is a ghost, and everyone except Jonathan is seeing her, Barnabas is seeing her. And then they go back in time to 1795, and I get to be a live little girl.
Look at this shot. Look at this. Isn't she beautiful? So innocent and pure.
For me, the difference between playing a ghost and a live little girl, I got to sing and jump around and be a lot more fun in this one. I was very ominous, even though I still was cherub looking.
Very cherub looking. Very cherub.
They used to use green screen. And I would be coming and going a lot, looking like I was going through the walls and showing up at different places. And that was a lot of fun, because at that time it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. We see that a lot, using those kind of effects. Back then it was groundbreaking. So not only was the show itself, Dark Shadows, groundbreaking as being the first Gothic soap opera ever, they used a lot of things that we take for granted now, but at the time they were groundbreaking for sure. Dark Shadows was the first soap opera to be syndicated. It was the first soap opera to go to VHS. It started out in black and white. Midway through, it went to color. So there were a lot of changes and growth that just happened organically. But when I think about it now, when I look back at it now, it was just incredibly innovative. Dan Curtis, it was his idea. He was the producer of the show. Genius, because it was unheard of at the time. And he went a little crazy. There were vampires and witches and ghosts and time travel and nothing like it at the time. And
yeah.
I really believe that Dark Shadows was the precursor for a lot of what we see today as far as vampires and the occult and that kind of thing.
Right. And it's very interesting how you even said that it was, even the way that they casted, the way that they casted you, and you were this, voice of reason for the vampire. Can we get a shot of the vampire as well? Is that too much? But yeah, that's him there. And what was his name?
The actor's name was Jonathan Frid. The character's name was Barnabas Collins, and he was a 250-year-old vampire.
And then there's the entire poster behind there, and that's is that the house that it was filmed in? Is that the castle?
This is actually Seaview Terrace, which is in Newport, Rhode Island, and it was used in the opening credits of the show, the exteriors. Now, the set of Collinwood that was in New York City was actually based on this, the interior. And I know that for a fact because I've actually slept in this house several times and I've seen it from the inside. And the first time I walked in, which was only less than 10 years ago, the show was 50 years ago. When I first walked in, I was like, oh my gosh, it's Collinwood. It was amazing. The library walls I had this flashback to when I was 10 years old. It was really crazy.
So you actually got to see the real life building. That's amazing. So where else has this career in the industry taken you? Have you done anything else since Dark Shadows? Will you be in the future? Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I was on the show during the 67, 68 time period. After Dark Shadows, I did some more commercials, I did some more modeling, but I was retired by the ripe old age of 13. I
retire at 13. Hi. Okay, where do I sign up? Is there a sign-up sheet?
The downside is I became a surly teenager and I had a bad attitude. And you can't be in this business and have a bad attitude. I didn't want to do it anymore. And my parents were not pushy about this at all. And they said, you don't want to do it, don't do it. So this became a distant memory to me for years and years until I was about 25 years old. And I had this yearning to participate again. I love the camaraderie of it. There's just something about it. So I went back and I did theater, stage for a while, and I tried to do commercials, but at that time period when I was 25, 26 years old, the only commercials that I seemed to be eligible for were Pampers and just household product type stuff, and I wasn't feeling it, so to speak. So I didn't do anything again. I started to have babies, and there was just not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
So since my kids were older and I retired, I started dabbling in the independent film industry, and I seem to have landed in the horror genre. It's been fun. I don't do a lot of work. I haven't done anything major, but it's fun to be a part of, and I've worked on both sides of the camera, and I enjoy both sides of the camera. I just like being on set, being with theatrical people. I seem to be drawn to that. So right now I'm just doing it for fun. I'm a woman of a certain age, I can get away with doing that.
I love it. Wow. And I love how you were so honest and humble enough to say, I became that what was the term you used?
Surly.
The surly teenager that, yes, the industry just does not really have, the patience for, but that's amazing that you learned that and you discovered that about yourself, because a lot of people aren't able to see in themselves their, their journey and what it was that made them kind of shy away from something or come back again. But I think it's a blessing that you've been brought back into this industry, and now you're working in it, where you are now today. So you're doing independent films. How can we follow your career, like the next couple of films that you'll be doing online?
I have two Facebook pages, actually. I have a Facebook page that I consider my pro page. I show what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, where I'm going to be. And then, of course, I have my own Facebook page, which is Cats and Kids and inspirational. That's Sharon Smyth. No, Sharon Smyth Lentz is my pro page, and Sharon Lentz is my Facebook page where you get to see the real me.
Excellent. And thank you for sharing the real you with us today and with me. And I wish you the best with your journey and with what you continue to do. Ultimately, it sounds like this is what you were meant to do. So you're doing it again, whether you knew it or not, you're back in it. It's fun. I love these people. I genuinely do. So do I. That's why I'm here. So it was very nice to meet you. Yes, same thing here. As long as they let me, I will keep coming back. And guys, this is Danielle Najarian, and this is Sharon Smyth, and we are signing out from the New Jersey HorrorCon and Film Festival.